second advantage over Martin FRA. I think he'd like it to have been 26. It's still going to be very, very tight. MAKOVEEV 16 as well. LESSER is there 17. DERYZEMLYA 19. A fantastic battle for the bronze. Well, I wonder what is going through this man's mind at the moment. If he'd hit 5 out of 5, victory was absolutely in the bag. But with one miss, he finds himself 16 seconds clear of the greatest biathlete in the world. And that, of course, is Martin FRA. It's a difficult situation. We've seen Bjorndalen take a 17-second lead into the last lap in the mass start. And he was caught by Svensson, and Svensson made him look slow. Leading the way is quite a difficult job, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, MORAVEC he's got his work cut out. Although 16 seconds is a long way, I don't know if he realises what work he's got to do. See, they're closing up behind him.
They've already closed. They have already closed, and they've got the big climbs to go. And we'll get a split time at the top. LESSER's looking strong. MAKOVEEV looking very good. Martin FRA biding his time. He's had to work quite hard, FRA. LESSER, just, I wonder what's going on there.
It looks like there's a bit of tactics going on here. It's like, it's kind of wanting him to come past, so nobody wants to take the lead. So this is a bit strange when they're going for the, trying to catch the first place in front.
Well, here goes FOURCADE. There's a burst, if ever you've seen one, and the others responding immediately, but they've got two serious climbs. MORAVEC's unable to raise his game. He needs some help out there. He needs half of the Czech Republic to get behind him, and they'll all be watching at home, certainly those who live around the Novo Mesto area, where he so nearly claimed a medal in the World Championships. But this is going to be the toughest ski of his life. Look at this, FOURCADE eating up the differential between them with every stride that he takes, and the three behind unable to respond, and now fighting for third place.
Yeah, Martin FRA, he's putting his foot down. He's just accelerating for every metre.
Yeah, that's astonishing. An astonishing bit of skiing. MORAVEC still hasn't looked over his shoulder. I wonder whether he will at any stage.
Either he's going to be playing it a little bit cool and thinking, well, take his chances as he comes towards the finish line, but I don't think he's going to have much chance if he lets Martin FRA come past him.
Well, we'll get a time split at the very top of this climb from 17 seconds. It's now closer to 8 or 9. FOURCADE hurting after that little burst, but he knows he gets a recovery here. And then they have that one big climb to go.
The speed ski now, the gliding, every metre is going to count. So there's nowhere to lose, so every corner's got to be cut sharp and a low position maintained.
Well, I've got the difference at about 7.5 seconds, so that's FOURCADE claiming 10 seconds back on the first climb, and he goes again. He's choosing his moment, isn't he? Every single uphill, he knows that's where he can eat into the difference, and very patient on the downhills and the flats.
Yeah, his secret weapon is once he gets working again, flat, uphill, he's just demolishing the track in front of him.
MORAVEC, there is the look over the shoulder, and he did not want to see the yellow and red bib, and that will sap even more energy. Maybe he should have stayed focused. Someone surely out there, MORAVEC speaks fine English, and just about every Norwegian on the planet speaks English as well, so I'm sure they're passing on the information so he knows what sort of situation. From 17.5 seconds, we're down to 4.9, and there's still a big climb to go. MORAVEC maybe, let's hope he's saving something. It would be a fantastic win for him if it were to happen, but he's got work to do. Let's just leave it at that. The battle for third gets better and better as the day goes on, because Tim Burke of the USA has joined DERYZEMLYA and MAKOVEEV as well, and Erik LESSER is there for Germany. That was a good attacking move before the downhill. Vital fractions of a second can be gained by pushing over the top of the hill, and maybe an indication that there's still something left in the Czech tank.
Yeah, MORAVEC, he's pulling out all the stops. Yeah, the moment he gets a chance to get those sticks working again and increase his speed, he's just right on it.
Well, MORAVEC hasn't had that happier a time here in Oslo this year. He was 40th in the sprint. He managed to recover to 28th in the pursuit yesterday, but he did have a very good time at the end of Novo Mesto. He got 4th in the individual, the 20-kilometre, and he got 4th in the mass start. So he's certainly going to finish on the podium today, but there are many thousands of biathlon fans who would love to see him take the win. The French all want Martin FRA, but I think those who support the underdog would love the man in front just to hold on, just as Olsen did for Sweden in the 50-kilometre down in Val di Fiemme.
This is Moravec's last real chance to put his foot down. He knows that if anywhere he's going to lose this race, it's going to be on this hill. So
yeah, and this is where Martin FOURCADE is really going to push. Remember, the margin was 4.9 seconds. The clock starts. 2, 3, 4. Has Moravec got a little bit clear? He has. He's gained a couple of seconds. 7.4 now, and maybe the French tank is starting to empty. I don't know what fuel he runs on, but it's something pretty special for Martin FOURCADE. He won't give up quite yet. Now Elisa life for Erik Lesser of Germany, who's trying to break away from MAKOVEEV. Tim Burke in there for USA, hoping to get his third podium of the season. He's had a good season, Tim Burke, but doesn't have the consistency of the very best in the world. Round the final corner before he sees the finish line. He's still got some way to go. 7 seconds. I think FOURCADE is finished. I think he's given up on the hope of a win, and it could be the first ever victory for Ondrej Moravec of the Czech Republic.
I think that we've been underestimating Moravec. He looks like he was kind of finished, but he's been holding something back. His secret weapon now, the last part of the course, he's pulling away from FOURCADE. It's really great to see that he can start with the best in the world, and here he is now. It looks like he's going to take a win.
Yeah, and he deserves it. Some great shooting from Moravec today. 0-0-0, so he hit the first 15. I think it was shot number 19 that went wide and meant that he wasn't going to have an easy run into the finish, but he's up over Nortug Hill, round the back of the targets now, and again, he's seen exactly what he's got to do. He knows that FOURCADE will not catch him, provided he stays on his feet. Lesser is deciding that he wants the scalp of the Frenchman, but maybe just trying to put in a burst to keep Tim Burke and MAKOVEEV of Russia away. It's going to be a furious finish for the third podium here. Moravec is on his way over the footbridge now and into the last 100 metres for the Czech. A sensational day for him. It may have come a couple of weeks too late, because he'd love to have taken a world title, but after 2 fourth position finishes down in Novo Mesto, no one deserves a victory more than Ondrej Moravec. Well done to him. 19 hits out of 20, and he's shown what he's made of in the final lap, holding off Martin FOURCADE. A brilliant time, 39.48 to get his first World Cup victory. He's had a number of podiums and, of course, those brilliant races down in Novo Mesto. Martin FOURCADE second today, just as he was in the sprint at the start of this meet here in Oslo. And Erik Lesser, wow, you can see what that means. Third place, out-sprinting Tim Burke and MAKOVEEV. He showed some guts today and showed why the German coaches have shown so much faith in him. DERYZEMLYA 6th, and the best of the Norwegians down in 7th place with Terje Bø.
It's so great to see a change in the winners there, and also the fact that Lesser comes into third. Germans really need that. Tim Burke, 4th place. That man has got so much potential.
Yeah, he's a great skier, isn't he? And I think the Americans, they need more shooting coaches, because so often, like Lowell today, missed out on that last shoot. And it's such a shame to do so much hard work and then lose it on the final shoot. Maybe it's mental, maybe it's just technique. We're not to know that, but that's something they do need to work on. Bjørndalen, the legend, down in 13th. There are a lot of smiling faces. Norwegians know how to win. They also know how to lose. And they love seeing a new face on the top of the podium. He's going to get a standing ovation, and he's going to go and get to meet the Norwegian king. The king will be a bit disappointed, because he was expecting some more presents. That's from right. Terje Bø and Martin FOURCADE.
Yeah, rumour on the street that both FOURCADE and Terje Bø promised that if they win today, they were going to deliver a present to the king. And maybe a little bit too confident, speaking a bit too soon. So shame for the king, won't get his new set of skis, but they'll have to wait another year.
Moravec may have something special. Bjørnbakke down in 18th. Schlesinger won't know that his teammate's taken the win quite yet. Simon FOURCADE Must be tough when your younger brother is so good. But credit to Simon for sticking with it. He's another who's had injury problems, compression syndrome in the leg, which has to be operated on. It's not a serious thing, but it's mighty painful, and you have no option but to get it sorted out. There goes Piper, number 22, just finishing ahead of Danny Boehm, who was wearing bib number 30, and coming in to finish wearing 24. That, of course, is Jean-Philippe Legelic of Canada. One of 12 nations represented today, and it's one of the minor nations that is walking away with a top prize. Well done to Ondrej MORAVEC, his first ever World Cup win.
This is what biathlon's all about. It's really good to see that on a good day that any nation can come up there and take first place gold medal.
You've got to be able to ski a bit.
That actually does help if you can ski.
Well, it was a real treat today, because it's not often that the last lap turns into a race. The race is often won with the very last target going down, but today, with Martin FOURCADE chasing and MORAVEC just pushing for that first victory, edge of your seat stuff. 13 seconds the margin in the end. MORAVEC had done enough by the time he got to 14 kilometres, and of course that was good enough to claim the win. Look at the shooting scores. The top guys in the top 10 missing just one or two bad days out, but a fantastic day for Ondrej MORAVEC of the Czech Republic. Well, thanks for your company over the long weekend, Mark. Your highlights?
Yeah, the highlights. Well, it was a very good start with the sprints from the women and the men. Always good to see the mass start, because it's as fast and furious. You've got everyone starting together. You've got the best athletes going head to head. So I've got to say, I really look forward to the mass starts.
Yeah, the only problem is that only 30 people can race, and there are 120 athletes here, so it's somewhat elitist, but it is the most exciting format, there's no question of that. And I think you probably agree with me, the pursuit, if they cut the margin from the sprint results by half, the pursuit would be even more exciting and give 20 people a chance of winning as opposed to just 10.
That's right. If the time was less behind when they started, then it would be a much more exciting action on the range, which would also be good for us to watch.
And you were suggesting early on that they double the size of the range and fit 60 lanes in there. There's not going to be much of Oslo left.
Well, if it could be done, I think if you could start 100 people together and have 100 shooting lanes, how fun would that be?
Well, I think this man still might have come out on top today. Fantastically focused, and the hardest part for him probably the last shoot.
Yeah, the psychological battle he would have had in his head, knowing that FOURCADE has not produced the goods, and he has to if he wants to win this, and he can, and he has.
And what impressed me actually was the fact that he didn't panic on the first climb out of the stadium. He'd obviously looked at that. He saved something for the last kilometre and a half, and it has paid off, because he's brought the Czech Republic their first win of the season, his first ever win, a day he will remember forever.